Hello everybody and welcome. Tonight we're going to be painting our Ribbon Santa. The lighting's kind of funky right here. Let me see. I've got quite the setup going, y'all. It's looking a little crazy behind the scenes over here. Some of y'all might have caught the post that I made right before this. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. It is, I believe, Thursday, June 9th, if I'm not incorrect here. I'm Ashley Fields, and we're going to be painting our Santa. I am having trouble with my Wi-Fi, y'all, so I'm really hoping you guys can see me. I see Debbie's here. Hey, Debbie. How are you doing, hun? There we go. There I am. Let's see. Hopefully... Okay. All right, y'all. I had to kind of get my camera angle up high so that you guys can see everything. I hope y'all can hear me. You're a little bit further away, so I might sound a little bit more quiet tonight. This is going to be the finished product of what we're doing tonight. So this is what the end result looks like. Now, for the sake of time, because this is such a big piece, we're gonna go ahead and start with one already base coated. So let me go ahead and grab that. I also have my camera flipped around today and it's making it look really long for whatever reason. Okay, Debbie's saying she can hear me fine. Good, good, good. All right, y'all, so I started off with 2 coats of red as my primer. I did the entire thing red. And then on top of that, I came in and did my white, my flesh, my green, and then my light yellow. So, and obviously black for the shoes. So let's see, Joy, Connie, Mom, everybody, thank you for joining. I'm glad everybody in here okay. All right, I'm gonna hop into it, y'all, because this is gonna end up being a long video if I talk too much. So I'm really good at talking too much. So I've got all my base coating done, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start with my shading. I'm using a brush that's about equivalent of a shader number 12. This is the same brush I always use. And then I am going to start off with Beard Blue. Now, the reason I'm starting off with Beard Blue is because the blue is all the white that's on here is going to be touching up against other colors. So if I start by getting a lighter color done first that also touches all the other colors, hopefully, by the time I'm getting around to backing up colors next to one another, the prior color will be dry. I mean, that's a hope, not that that always happens. Of course, I did not bring my water to the table today. I'm sitting here looking for it, so I'm gonna have to use my bottle of water and get a little bit of water mixed in. So, I don't know. Oh, Ashley, make sure to tell about how you painted the lettering. Y'all, this, the ones that I'm using for my example tonight are actually the ones that I base coated last season, and I never got around to finishing getting them painted. So my version actually has carved letters. I did not give y'all carved letters. Let me see if I can get that up here so y'all can see. These are carved down into the wood. Y'all's are just etched. I don't do the carved for the Painters Club for multiple reasons. One of them being that it means that you're gonna have to use multiple different rollers because that's the only way to get across the top of them. So y'all's are just etched in. So mine, I have to do the black first and then come over top with the foam roller with white and then come over the top with the foam roller again with yellow. So it ends up being several additional steps. I left y'all's a little bit easier because as for me, somebody who does this for a job, obviously, I'm trying to do it as fast as I possibly can. So I use rollers a lot of times. And I understand that you guys don't necessarily have the same tools that I do. Y'all, rookie mistake already. I did not Windex this, and I can tell because my paint is separating. So let me fix that right quick. And what I'm doing is I'm coming in with Beard Blue, and we use the Beard Blue on white. On the white of a snowman, well yeah, we use it on a snowman, but the white of like the cuffs on Santa's suit and his beard, we're gonna use the Beard Blue on all the white. So that's just where I'm starting. Also because I reuse this same brush the entire time. So I like to start with light colors first. That way as I'm washing out my brush as I'm going, I'm not dragging dark colors into light colors. So I don't know why it is. My phone keeps the comments up. My iPad kind of shuts the comments down. Thank you, Debbie, for sharing. How do I get it to where the comments stay up and they don't disappear on me? That I don't know. All right, y'all, so I'm dipping this brush in at an angle and trying to keep that stroke as long as possible. My anxiety is already flaring up today, so my arm is shaking. You know, give me just a second, because some of these, I have to turn them around so that I can hit them with the brush the way that I like. Sometimes if I'm trying to do something upside down, I cannot get that brush stroke that I'm wanting. So I do tend to turn it so that I can easily reach where I'm trying to work. So you're gonna see me kind of rotating it around and around. All right, good. So Mom's gonna be answering questions, so I'm not even gonna really try to worry about looking at the comments right now. Let's see, so this one's gonna be, I think this is our first big piece that I've done with you guys. So I'm excited so y'all get to really see one of these come to life, because you know, the bigger it is, the more time it takes. But I was telling my mom the other day that I was like, man, I miss going live. I feel like I haven't been live in a while. So this week you'll have me tonight, and then next week I have a Monday night. I can't remember if the Monday night is in the, let me see. I think it's in the, yeah, Monday I'm in the Painters Club. And then Tuesday we have a Zoom meeting with our Painters Club. And then Thursday I'm live in the Painters Club with Bulbs. So, or I'm sorry, Tuesday, that one's the Academy. The Zoom is in the Academy. So we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Now, as y'all can see on the beard, I'm kind of wanting this beard to appear to be going behind my wreath. So you see I just brought down with the blue, but I'm not coming around here with the blue because I want it to appear that it's falling behind that. So I kind of pick and choose where, you know, I shade all the way around, and then where I shade trying to give an illusion of something coming out the back or being in the back. So that's kind of where I'm going with this. If you are seeing me shade certain spots and not shade others, that's my reasoning behind it. Now, as well as when I'm doing this, I don't like to put too many wispy lines. I kind of try to keep it just a little bit. I don't want to overdo it. So that's why you haven't seen me do a whole lot of lines on here. As far as, you know, these kind of wispy lines, it's very easy to go overboard. And I kind of prefer a little bit of less is more. So now, let me see, I'm gonna turn it back this way. Now, down here on the white, I am gonna do a couple little swish marks and leave it at that. So as far as my beard blue, this is beard blue number 3 goes, I'm done with that. You'll be using beard blue if we do, I don't remember if we're doing snowmen, but we use it for beards, for Santa suits, for snowmen, for the snow, you know, the appearance of snow on pieces. So that's about the only time you really see us using that. So I'm gonna wash out my brush and switch. My next color, I'm gonna go ahead and do yellow because of the color family, you know. I wanna kind of stay towards the lighter colors and work my way to darker colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my shading yellow. I wanna say this is 14. Yep, number 14, shading yellow. So same thing, I'm sticking with that number 12 shader this entire time. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it just a little bit. Has anybody started on their Christmas? If you have, I wanna see you hit the like button if you've started on your Christmas. If you haven't started on your Christmas, I want you to hit the love button. I'm curious to see what you guys have been doing. I know we haven't had too many Christmas tutorials yet, but I know a couple of you guys have been doing some presents and they've been looking really, really good. I'm excited to see what else you guys are gonna be doing. just so y'all know while I'm talking, of course, because I do really good at the whole talking thing, talking y'all's ear off. I had cut some more of the Merry Christmas candy cane poles. I know we've been sold out of those. I did cut some more today, and I will have them in store in the morning. So if you're somebody who's been checking that listing, I have put those back in stock. So, hey Joyce, I didn't see you come in. I'm glad you're here, honey. Oh, Connie telling me about don't let the anxiety run off with you. Oh, honey, I'm not. It's not in control of me. I'm in control of it. So it's one of those things every now and again, it kind of tries to get you physically. And I'm just going to keep on moving through it. So I'm just getting a little bit of yellow on here. As y'all can see on the boot, it doesn't really matter to me that I'm coming across on that black. You have such a small little part to shade, and my brush is so big that it's okay if I come across on that black, because I have to come in there with black anyways and touch it up. So if you notice, I'm not trying to be perfect right now, because there's still more steps to go that I can touch up any little imperfections that you see at this moment. I don't know if y'all can hear my Christmas music in the background. I had it up a lot louder, but then I thought that might be drowning me out. So I have it kind of quiet back here, but I've got it on my Pandora Christmas station, so I can feel all sorts of being in the mood. I don't know, I'm trying to be in the Christmas spirit, and it's 94 degrees out here. But it's not as hot as it was a couple of hours ago, so there is a positive on that. All right, let's see. I need to go ahead and do my flush next. So I'm gonna use my shading flush. Let's see. I'm just kind of, again, sticking with lighter to darker colors. This is one that separates pretty bad. I don't know if y'all can see that. That binder really separates and sits at the top. You gotta make sure and shake and stir your paint in between uses. And y'all, I used this earlier today. I painted 10 of these today. So y'all see how fast that separates. Now, for the sake of this looking good, I am gonna have to just turn him a little bit as I'm working. And again, I'm sticking, just getting that paint in the corner. With that camera being so high up here, it's kind of hard to show y'all. But I'm sticking with that paint in the corner of the brush, and I'm just following along in those etched lines that are already there for me. If anybody is interested in doing a black Santa, we do have a skin tone color that we use for that I can get put up at the store. It's one of those things that we only use it for darker skin tones, so it's not a color we use often. But if there is anybody interested in that, I am happy to get you the correct color that you would be wanting. So now I'm going to be coming in here and kind of touching up next to this blue, so I got to be a little bit careful because that blue is still wet. Now your face, there's different ways to do flush. My mom and I both have a very different style. I know Miss Victoria is going to be doing nutcrackers for us, I believe, this coming up weekend at some point. And I'm sure she's going to have a different style for painting flesh on, you know, people. And so me personally, I always kind of try to go for the cartoon look. That's just something I'm comfortable with. It's something I feel like that's more my style. And so this is just how I paint flesh. You don't have to do it this way. In fact, I encourage you guys to tune in to other videos and see, you know, what kind of style you might prefer. But this is just how I do it, how I like it. So we're gonna actually come back in here and outline this with a shading red, which might sound a little weird, but you guys will see it come together here in a little bit. I do have some dry pieces already shaded behind me, and then I have some dry outline pieces as well. That way we can really flow from step to step and not have to wait in between. So I'm gonna try to keep us at no longer than an hour, but I don't know if I can do that. I'm gonna try my best. All right, so I'm just gonna clean out that shading flesh. I believe that's shading flesh 30, yeah, 30. And now I'm gonna move on to my shading red number 23. Shading red, you don't have it. If you have red and black, you can make shading red. If you don't have shading flesh, you could take a little bit of flesh and put a little bit of red in that and make shading flesh. So I do encourage you guys, if you are missing something, just try to see if you can mix it with what you have to, you know, be able to get you by if you're in a pinch. So I actually tried practicing mixing different skin tones earlier, and apparently I need to stick to painting because mixing paint is just not my thing. I was making some really terrible colors and they just did not look good if you asked me. So I was trying to do that so I could show y'all tonight how to do that, but my examples wouldn't have been the greatest. So now I'm just kind of following along and bringing that shading all the way across all of my red on this whole piece. And you'll really start to see it coming together here pretty soon. Now I've been pulling up a little bit of other colors in the red, like a little bit of blue's getting pulled because that blue's wet. That's okay. I'm not worried about it. I still have, like I said, I got a lot of work to do on this piece, so if I got little boo-boos right now, no big deal. We have lots of time to fix that. I'm about to start singing for y'all over here. Carly has a friend staying the night right now, and we were cooking dinner and cleaning up the kitchen like an hour ago, and she was asking me, well, when are you gonna take down your Christmas decorations? And I said, I'm not. She's like, you're not? And I said, no, we're already so much closer to Christmas than we are away from Christmas, so why not just leave them up? Oh, y'all. I can't tell you how much I love Christmas. It's just my favorite. So I did take down my tree, but I did put up my tree last year right before Halloween, and I have a feeling it'll be put back up in October again just so I can enjoy a good couple of months out of it. I need a lazy Susan underneath here. Let's see, love the Christmas music too. You're watching the Hallmark Christmas movies. Oh my goodness, are they having Christmas in July on Hallmark and I'm just not paying attention? Oh, Deborah, you're so sweet. Miss Deborah, I try to just be me. You know, love it or hate it, it is what it is. I prefer to just be myself, and that's just who I am. Yes, so apparently Hallmark Christmas movies, I'm missing out. I've been stuck on a bunch of Netflix shows. Outlander, I just finally... Uh-oh, it's telling me it's trying to reconnect. I'm hoping everybody's still there. I might have hit my Wi-Fi. Ah! I hope y'all can still see me. It told me for a second it was trying to reconnect, but I've got 100% on my Wi-Fi. I'm not sure. Okay, let's see. Red's done. The only thing I have left to do for shading is green. And then we can move on to outlining. And the outlining of this is a little bit more complex than a lot of the other pieces that we've done. Hey John, how are you? I hope you're doing well. I heard you and Zach talking a little bit ago. I was in here kind of trying to rig up my tables for my good camera angle tonight. I know some of y'all love my little ingenuity, my creation that I have over here. All right, y'all, so now we're gonna do dark green. I believe it's number 12. I was about to say 6, but I knew that was off. So 6s are blues. So that's just my dark green number 12. It does already have a little bit of water in there. As y'all all know, when I shade, I always add a little bit of water. That is gonna be very dependent upon the brush that you're using, how old your brush is, how worn it is. Newer brushes, you might not need very much water at all, if any. So test it out with your brush. If it's not gliding far for you, add a little bit of water. If it's gliding just fine, then you know you don't need any water. Y'all, I always feel like wreaths are not my, wreaths and flowers are not my, not my strong suit, you know. I feel like there could be better, I could have a better way of like kind of coming in here with the swishes, but I'm not so good at it. So I kind of stick with just a few. I've done this pattern for many years, and I've tried to kind of perfect my little, how many swishes I put in, how many I don't. And I've done it all the way from having a ton to having a few, and I just prefer a few. So that's kind of how I decided how I go about it. That's how I decide how much I'm gonna put on there. Okay, so shading is completely finished. Let me get my brush in the water and move this one, because I do have a dry one ready for us. And don't let me forget to Windex it. Let me move this guy right quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, here is our dry version. Let me get it cleaned up right quick. I did paint these earlier today, but it could be, you know, 2-3 hours after you paint something, and you come back and you start painting it again, and you notice that paint separating. Windex, Windex, Windex. I encourage you to Windex every time it's dry and you're about to start another section or another layer on it, Windex it. And I've also noticed when my rag, I use my rags every day, and I really use them till they get kind of nasty and funky looking. But I have noticed that if you're cleaning it with Windex and it's still separating, get a new rag, because that means your rag has something on it. So, let's see. Oh yeah, we are always working on Christmas yard art. I'm behind, y'all, like really, really behind. So I'm trying to kind of kick my little booty in gear and get to it, or else y'all aren't gonna have very many hand-painted pieces this year. So, I'm about to actually start cutting countdowns to Christmas and start working on those. Let's see, I'm trying to find, okay, I'm gonna get back to talking about this because I can talk for hours, y'all all know. I'm gonna go ahead, now, whenever we're doing Santas or we're doing snow, I'm actually gonna use 3 outline colors, okay? My blue for my beard, all the white part that we're doing that has that beard blue, we're gonna shade it, or we're gonna outline it in navy blue, all right? All of the flesh tones, I personally am going to outline in shading red. Now, like when my mom does flesh, she doesn't outline in shading red. So like I said, that everybody does it a little different. I'm gonna show you how I do it. But we use shading red on colors like flesh and on any brown tones. Anytime, like, so when we do turkeys, you're gonna use a ton of shading red, because anything that has brown tones or flesh tones, we outline in shading red. And then the rest, so like the red and the green and the yellow, we'll outline in black. That is why my Santas take so long to do, because it's a lot of brush changes. It's a lot of colors. But at the end of the day, that's also what makes it so vibrant and what really makes it pop when you get done. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with the blue, because I really need some of this to get dry before I'm really gonna be able to get the black on here the way I want to. Which I have a feeling we'll just be dealing with a wet paint by wet paint, and that's okay, and I'll have to touch up tomorrow, but you know. That is my thought behind why I choose certain colors when I choose them. So it is purposeful for me. Now this navy, I have a ton of water added into it. Me personally, when I'm outlining, I like my paint to be probably about 50% water. For me, it glides a lot better, and it gets in those cracks a lot easier, and my lines seem to be smoother. Now that's for me with my brush that I'm using. That's gonna be different for everybody based on what brushes you're using, you know, if they're broken in or not broken in, and that sort of thing. So, y'all, I'm gonna just keep on talking because apparently I'm really good at that tonight. I feel like I'm just talking everybody's ear off. But we have, y'all know we're doing Christmas right now in July, and then next month in August we are doing fall. So that means fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving related items. And then after that, we've spoken with you guys a lot about our busy season and how we run a storefront and we're a retail store, and you know, we don't really know what it's going to look like as far as doing blanks and doing our regular yard art production like we always do. And so we've gone ahead and let y'all guys know that, you know, we're doing a lot of these videos here in the summer because when it comes to fall time, we won't have the time to devote to all of the videos like we have right now. So a lot of these videos we'll be able to use, you know, through the fall for people who didn't get to catch us. But what we are going to be doing is in the Academy, we will have a couple of videos a month in the Academy with new patterns. That is for September, October, and November. So anybody who has not joined the Academy, it's already been closed down. We're only opening it 4 times a year. So it will be open on September 1st. So if you're interested in the exclusive videos that are only going to be available in the Academy, I hope that you decide to join us come this September. This first time around, it was $22 a month to join, so it's not something quite expensive. I'm not sure if that price is going to change or not, you know, but we would love to have you guys over there. We have Zoom meetings monthly, so we can all join together and talk. And we had our first one last month, and that was so much fun. So some of those Christmas gnomes I posted yesterday, I know I got a lot of response from that. Actually, I was honestly kind of surprised at how quickly you guys were responding that y'all really liked those. So the Christmas ones, the reindeer holding the carrot with the lights in his horns, and then the gnome holding the gingerbread, those two will be done in the Academy this fall at some point. So since we already released Christmas, you know, it's too late to kind of throw that on the schedule, so I just decided those will be Academy tutorials. Now, when I say the Academy tutorials, that means that's the only place you can see the video for how to paint that. However, if you still don't want to join the Academy, you can still purchase the blanks. There just won't be a video over the blanks in September, October, November on the regular Painters Club page. So I'm gonna kind of we'll start talking about that in our lives just so that you guys can hear that and know what's going on. So it's kind of just some things that we've been discussing on our end and just kind of letting y'all guys know what we've decided so far. So as we know more and we figure out more, then we'll bring more information to y'all. All right, so all I'm doing is tracing those lines. Now, my CNC can kind of cut on the deep side because if I put it up any lighter than this, half of the pattern won't come off. Like it'll all come out on one piece and then the next piece won't have any pattern on it. So I always have to do it a little deeper. So that's why you're seeing me make several strokes back and forth in the same spot, is I'm trying to get in that crevice. Oh, I love this song. This reminds me of, oh, what's that? Christmas Vacation? I think that's the movie. Is there anybody watching that loves Christmas as much as I do? That enjoys the music and the decorations and the everything, the fellowship, being with family. I just love it. Can't wait to have our next Christmas in this house. We had our first one this last year. And I just love making memories with my family. So let's see. Okay, blue is done. Oh, I'm already sitting here. Kenny does, yay! See, I'm glad to hear that. I'm not the only one. Zach simply indulges me and puts up with puts up with all my craziness. But you know, he's not somebody who's super into Christmas quite like I am. So, okay, I got that blue done. I'm gonna do my black last. Phaedra loves Christmas too. Good. I'm so glad. I got to remember next time I'm on live to keep the Christmas music on. I think y'all are enjoying it as much as I am. All right, y'all, I'm going to switch back to this shading red. Gotta do a little refill right quick. If anybody uses squirt bottles and you get to the end of the squirt bottle, word of the wise, turn around before you start trying to squirt out any paint, because it'll splatter everywhere. I've done that a time or two. Now I'm getting out this shading red to do on my flesh tone. If you don't like the look I'm about to show you, excuse me, and you think it's a little dark, no worries. You can always take your regular shading flesh and just outline your skin tone and shading flesh. So even though you used it for shading, that's okay. You can kind of come clean up your lines with, I need a little bit more water, with the shading flesh, and it'll be a little bit lighter, not so dark. Let's see, I think that'll be a little better. I can tell a huge difference between the amount of water I put in. And within a couple of strokes, I can tell you whether I need more water or I put too much water. So I like the way my brush is gliding, like with this amount in it. So I'm gonna stick around with this. Alrighty, I'm going to turn it to the other hand. It's hard to make sure I'm staying in the within the frame I got. If y'all notice, I'm not really good when it comes to curves. My brush tends to go way far out, but that's okay. Clean it up and keep on moving with it. Don't let little silly things like that hold you up. I know some of you have talked about being frustrated throughout this, and you know, you're working on something and it's not quite coming out the way you want, or maybe your brush isn't working the way you want, or maybe the paint's not going on the way you want. I encourage you to keep at it, keep practicing, maybe walk away, take a break. But the more that you practice with it, the more you use your brushes, the easier it will be across time for you to learn how to use them, for your brush strokes to kind of, you know, you to be following that brush and really bringing it to life, as opposed to trying to make the brush do what you want it to do. I find it a little easier if I kind of allow the brush to go and I kind of just follow it. And so sometimes that means I don't really care for the lines that just came out of it, but that's okay. That's when I come in and I just keep cleaning up until, you know, I'm satisfied with it. Now, as you can see, this peach, I didn't come up here on the eyebrows as far as coming around with the shading, because I wanted the eyebrows to appear to be kind of coming over the face with the hat. So that's just my quick little explanation. This one had a piece of paint that came off right here, so it's just not smooth at that spot. By the time I finish this and get glitter on it, you will never know. Okay, now shading red is done. I'll turn it back around so y'all can kind of see the progress so far. Now all I have to do is black and white. So let me wash my script liner. This is my script liner number 4. I did get these back in stock last week. In fact, all the brushes that were out of stock are back in stock, every single one of them. As far as I know, unless we've sold out this week, but I don't believe that we have of any of them. So if there's a brush that you couldn't get before, go double check now. We should have them all in stock. All right, so I painted 10 of these today, so I'm gonna kind of start where I ended up starting earlier, because all of mine I paint across my tables like this. So I roll around one side of the table and paint the top half, and then I roll on the back side of the table and paint the bottom half. So this is kind of how I was doing it earlier. So I'm just gonna start where, like I said, like where I did earlier. For me, when I'm doing something in bulk, I kind of tend to find the same rhythm and use that with everything. So whatever strokes I take on the first one, I tend to take the rest of the entire time, as long as I like the strokes that I'm using, as long as it's coming out the way I want it to come out. So now I'm basically just using black on all of the stuff that we did not outline yet. Now this one is kind of deep, so it'll take me a few strokes, and then I even come in here and get a ton of paint on my brush and just tip the very end of the bristles into that line so that I can get that line filled. I know these lines can be annoying as far as that part, but imagine not having them. I don't know about y'all, but I'd rather have the lines than not have the lines. It makes my life a little easier. And years ago we used graphite paper, but that's just a whole nother headache in itself, because then you get graphite all over the place. You get it on your arm and your hand, and then you drag it all across your pieces, so that's not fun either. This song reminds me of Elf. When that, I can't remember the girl's name, but when she was singing with Buddy, or she was singing in the bathroom when Buddy came in singing with her. Now I need to go watch that movie. I love that movie. Got a little boo-boo there. It's okay though. Alrighty. As y'all can see on this one, I actually put a few more swishy marks on my wreath than I did on my last one. And that's why we always tell everybody no two pieces are exactly alike, because when I'm painting, it's just whatever my hand does, it does, and I just kind of follow along with it. Sometimes it'll end up making a few more strokes here and there, and other times it won't. And that's okay. All right, let me see. Trying to get it turned back and keep it. There we go. I'm gonna kind of move around a little bit and try to see if I can keep it kind of steady. Now my eyeballs, for me, you guys, eyeballs no longer intimidate me, but they did for a long time. So I say if eyeballs are still intimidating to you, I want you to outline the entire piece and then come back and do the eyeballs. And the reason I say that is because when you've been outlining for a while, over that time, your arms will loosen up, your hand will loosen up a little bit, and you can kind of get more of a flow. Because when you're doing eyes, for me, I've learned over the years that it's a lot better when you can be more loose, when your hand can be a little bit more loose, and you can kind of allow that brush to really do the work, and your hand just kind of flows with it. So I went ahead and painted in my eyes, right? Now I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna take all that excess paint off. I'm only gonna use what little bit I have on here. I'm gonna kind of do like a little bit of an open C upside down, right? That's the first one, my open C. And then that same stroke movement that I'm doing, let me see, I'm gonna show you right here on my table right quick. That same stroke movement that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just feather it down just like that. I don't know if y'all could see that too well. But I'm just gonna feather that out a little bit. Get a tiny little bit of paint on there, feather it out a little bit. And it's as simple as that. But I tell you to practice on your table, practice on the back if you're having trouble with that. It really takes a little bit of time, but you need to be kind of limber and loose in your hand and in your brush strokes. I'm making a mess over here because this is all wet and this is a big piece. Like I said, traditionally speaking, I paint a lot of these at once. So by the time I roll around the room and I do all the blue on all the pieces and I come back to do, you know, my shading red, all of it's dry because it's hot out here. And by the time I do 10 pieces, you know, it's been a while, time-wise. So turn them upside down for a minute. And I'm just gonna finish this out real quick. Uh-oh. Making a few boo-boos over here. Now, the next step is just to do white and then I'm done. I am gonna have to move this one and grab a dry one when I do the white because these eyes are way, way, way too wet to be able to put anything on those right now. So we're actually almost done with this guy. Michael Bublé, or is it Michael Bublé? Is that his name? I know it's something Bublé. He's got such a beautiful voice. I'll have to clean that up right there with a little bit of white. Y'all remember how I told you not to worry about coming outside of these lines? This is exactly why. Anytime you're doing something on black, you could really be kind of sloppy with it because you already know you're gonna outline in black. So at that point, when you go to outline, you can really clean up any little sloppiness you had. Oh, sorry, y'all. I didn't realize I was kind of getting out of frame over here. All right. Okay, let me turn this around so you can see what this part looks like before I move it. So that's what it looks like when you're done outlining. This is completely outlined as far as that part goes. It's done. Let me move it right quick and I'm going to grab my dry one and we're going to do our white highlights. All right, y'all know how this goes. It's fast. It's furious, and it'll look beautiful here in about 3 minutes, if that. Let's see. I might have to get me some white mixed up. It might just take me a minute here to get enough water in here. I like that white with a lot of water. Oh, while I'm doing that too, I need a Windex because this is another dry piece that I did earlier. Alrighty. Let's see. I think I'm pretty good. Y'all, I'm kind of bringing my brush up a little bit, like down, up, down, up, down, up, across a long stroke is really all I'm doing on something real long and wide. And then other than that, I kind of almost come around the strokes I already did and I might put it underneath or over top of it. But I'm going kind of close to where my darker swipes are, or strokes are. I'm just trying to really accent and highlight that a little bit. All right, the only thing I got left to do is a little bit of black or a little bit of white on my boots right quick. Let me turn it around where it's easier for me. When I'm doing something like this, the black on here, I am not following along that edge like a traditional outline. I'm almost kind of coming inside of that edge and just allowing that to really show me where to put my lines. But I'm not actually touching the edge or fully outlining it like I would the rest of it. You want the black to look a little bit more wispy. And as fast as that, we've got a finished piece. What do you guys think? I hope y'all like it. This is the Ribbon Santa, like I said, that I've been painting for years. It's one of my favorites. It's actually our most popular Santa. So here's the look at him when he's finished. Let's see. I know my mom was on here helping to answer questions. Let me see if anything else has come in. Hey, everybody. Thank you, Lynn. Lynn says he's adorable. Thank you. Phaedra, thank you. Y'all are so sweet. Oh, I see Mom's been on here making sure to answer questions. Joyce, thank you. You say you love it. Awesome. I'm so glad you guys joined me tonight. I had so much fun painting with y'all. Let's see. Victoria is doing the Nutcracker tutorial in the Academy coming up this weekend. And then I will be live Monday at 7 with the peppermint candy, the candy cane, and both candy canes and the Painters Club. And then Wednesday in the Painters Club is Mary with gingerbread, sugar baby, and stockings. And then the 16th, next Thursday, is me in the club with bulbs. So we got lots of lives coming up in the next week or so. I hope you guys can join us for those. Thank y'all so much for being with me tonight. Until next time, I hope that y'all will submit some photos of what y'all been working on, and I can't wait to see. I'll see you guys later. Thank y'all.